Hi, this is Erma Grego from Senior Perspective. Today we have a program that should suit everybody, especially during this Lenten season. It is the Passion Play that is put on at St. Benedict the Abbot Church. And my guests today are all involved with this production. And first of all, we have Sharon Jones and Ellen Lages, Father Esposito, and this Brett DiCello. Okay, and they're going to tell us how their parts are and how they came about doing it, and they're going to tell us all about the Passion Play. And I think my first question is, how did you choose the different characters for this production? Who wants to talk about that?
I think Sharon can address that. She was.
Oh, you mean the cast?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we had an audition. We had people came out on a Wednesday evening that wanted to audition for the play, and we held just like a regular musical, a regular production, and we sat afterwards and we discussed it between Father and some of the other directors, and we cast the show.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is a musical.
It is. It's a biblical story based on the Gospels, but we added music to it, so it's sort of what you might call musical opera, or much like the musicals that you see in regular production. Mm-hmm. But the songs are familiar because the songs are taken, many of the songs, almost all of them, are taken from the hymnal that we use in church.
Oh, okay. That makes it more interesting than if you know what you're singing and know what you're listening to.
Right, and then the people that come for the performances are encouraged to sing along.
Well, that's good.
So if you go to Mass, then you will recognize a lot of the music will be familiar.
Uh-huh. Good. And how'd you get I guess, Father, you wrote up the play.
Right. The Passion Play has been a tradition at St. Benedict's long before I got there in 2007. And they had used a production from a gentleman named Bob Summers, who wrote something called Make Us Believers, which was based loosely on those stories, sort of all four Gospels coming together. And then he also wrote the music for that. And we decided that we'd rather not pay the royalty this year because it kept going up like everything else. And the story is pretty much in the common domain. We all know the story of the Passion. And so I had talked to Mike Locke, who is our musical director, and said, I bet we could do this ourselves. And he said, yeah, we could. And we decided to sit down. I sat down with the script, and then we sat down after and sort of inserted the hymns where they seemed to be appropriate, right? Mm-hmm. And one of our goals, I think, over the coming years is that Mike will start to compose perhaps some original music for it as well.
So that's quite a challenge.
Yes.
So it grows every time we do it. We do it every other year.
Every other year.
Yeah, every other year. Mm-hmm. So we're hoping that every other year we always add something to it.
Yeah. So I know I've attended all the productions and everything. They've been great. I mean, the way that, these are just ordinary people that come to church and, that you see every day and all that. And there they are up on the stage and everything. And it's really wonderful to hear their voices, and everything is really, and the decoration, what do they call it?
Sets.
The set. It's really amazing who does the set?
Well, Michael Locke built the set for us new 2 years ago, because when we moved into the new church, of course we had the old church.
Right.
And now we didn't have to keep tearing down the set, every time there was Mass. So it was really nice to be able to build a set and leave it there. So we were able to be a lot more creative and have different scenes for different, moments in the play. So he built it, and he did a really nice job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's really great. Now with a different cast, and this young lady is Ellen.
I'm Elena Lages, and I'm playing the part of Mary, Jesus' mother.
Mm-hmm. I think she'll make a very pretty Mary.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Father Esposito?
I'm playing the role of Pontius Pilate, and I was in that same role in 2008. Some people, Elena, how long have you been in the play?
Since 5th grade.
Since 5th grade.
An old timer there.
So some people have grown with it and played different parts as they've grown older, starting perhaps as, what was your first role, do you remember?
I'm pretty sure I was one of the children who sang with the women, just a little kid.
I remember when we did it in 2008, you sang when Jesus was in the garden or when he got to the cross? I think you were
When
one
he
of
got
that
to the
little
cross.
ensemble. So there were teens then that
Yeah.
sort of they moved from that children's role into a more mature.
She grew up into it.
She did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is Brett DiCello, and he is.
I play the role of our Lord Jesus Christ. It's really great. This is my first time actually being in the Passion Play production, and I'm really honored to play this part. It's definitely a different role. It's definitely a much more challenging role. There's teachings, the power, yet it's just so. I don't even know the word for
Well,
it.
you're the center of the whole thing.
Well, but it is centered around Jesus. It is the passion of our Lord.
Right.
But there are so many others. Mary, Pontius Pilate.
Yeah.
They all play their different roles to tell the story of the passion of our
Right.
Lord.
Right. Well, you all have very good parts and everything, and I'm sure you all do very well. So, and okay, why is it different this year?
Why is it different? Well, I think what makes it different is because we have a new script. We have songs that haven't been used in the past. We were locked into, with the script for Mr. Summers, we were locked into his music. So sometimes it might have seemed appropriate to use other songs, and he was very adamant about, with the copyright, to use only the music that went with that. And it seemed so appropriate, I think, for this year's script to just say, how does that movement speak to us? And there were several of us doing the musical selection, and so it was really quite providential, I would say, to say that, we sing this, but now look at the meaning it takes on as we're doing that. I mean, one of the things, there's music in our hymnal from an interfaith community, ecumenical community in France called Taizé, where the monks are Catholic and Protestant and live together in this community that draws young people from all over the world to come and see their life. And we've been using the music from Taizé now for a number of years in churches, and Catholic and Protestant churches. And to hear Brett at the Last Supper sing those words that we sing in church, eat this bread, drink this cup, come to me, and never be hungry. We sing that at church sometimes during communion and whatever, but actually to have Jesus at the Last Supper saying those words, eat this bread, drink this cup, as he's giving the bread and the wine to the disciples at the Last Supper, really takes it in another direction, I think.
Yeah, I think it just hits you right in your heart. And it's well, that almost answers how the question hits you personally for all of you, really. I mean, we all feel it in the same way, and we're all just so blessed to have the opportunity to do this, and especially for someone who's playing the part of Mary, and each of you that you had parts in it. I mean, just like you're part of your life. Like, it's wonderful.
Yeah, what does Mike always say to us as sort of the pep talk
Oh, he
about
brought
using this for Lent? And
I'm trying to think of the one phrase he always says. He's funny. He's very inspirational. He gets everyone motivated very well. I'm trying to think of the phrase that he uses.
He often says
Not
this
go
is our
for it,
Lenten
but
sacrifice
Lenten
as well.
sacrifice, exactly. I mean, I think it does make, when you do this during Lent, it puts everything in perspective and makes you really go to church and listen to the Gospels and listen to the sermons and everything, go, that's, it really reinforces it.
Where did I hear that before?
Right. And for the little
you've heard it.
children, that makes them understand it. I know for when my children have been in it or see it, it makes it so much more, simplifies it for them. They see a production and they go, oh, that's what it means, more.
Yeah. Well, see, you
It's a
hear it
visual
all the
thing.
time and everything, but yet when you see it in a production, it seems to be that it's right there.
Right.
yeah,
And then so
Yeah, it's one thing to read the words. but
read
it's
the
another
words
to
and to
say
see them.
in
That's what I
character.
was.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I'm the bad guy, and I'm the one that sends them to crucifixion. And you think, oh, okay, I really
We'll
don't
watch
mean
out for
it.
you. We'll watch out for you.
Well, you're living the part. You're actually you actually almost see it through your eyes, and that definitely broadens your understanding of what it would have been like.
Well, that's what it is about artists, no matter what. Because I interviewed somebody that was an artist. She painted pictures and everything, and the things that she saw, I never even noticed them. I mean, an artist can see things so much differently than an average person, and I was really amazed at that. What's that? I never saw that. So it's just the same thing. I mean, you see it every day, but when you see it in a production, it comes to you better.
And you said you've seen this production previously.
Oh, yes.
And what keeps you coming back? That's the thing. You probably come every time they've done it.
Oh, yes. And I enjoy it every time, too. And it just makes, I don't know, it just makes me feel so good after I've seen it. And I always see something different. There's always something that I have missed before and that has come forward or something. So.
See, and I think that's the clue. That's what we're aiming. I think that's our goal, is because we begin with the narrators saying to people, this is a story you all know.
Right.
But there are things there that might surprise you, because you'll say, gee, yeah, I do know that story, but I didn't know this was in it, or maybe it's not in it literally, but it's the interpretation of how it strikes one particular human, which then may touch another human in the same way.
Well, and I think that everybody should come and see it.
We hope so.
Yeah. Okay. Did you answer where the script came from? I think you hit
Well, it
on
came
that.
from all the Gospels.
The Gospels.
Mostly Matthew and John, whose passion narratives are the meatiest, I would say. But there's a selection from Luke, and there's a little bit from Mark as well. So it really took all four Gospels as its source.
Well, you had to write the parts, like for Jesus and for Mary.
He did, yes.
And because it just tells the story, it doesn't. So you had to put it in words.
So there's some dialogue in the Gospel if you look, but some had to be fleshed out a little more. So, for example, Father Michael Ruffalo, our parochial vicar at St. Benedict, plays the role of Herod. And Herod doesn't have any speaking lines in the Gospel when it comes to the Passion. He's only in Luke's Gospel and doesn't have any speaking lines. And so I had to create that from what it said.
So yeah, it took really a lot of work to be able to do that too. And that's we'll take a little break now, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
From the first day you join AmeriCorps, you start changing people's lives.
Through service to your community, you give a feeling of hope.
Why did I join AmeriCorps?
Because I want to change people's lives.
Have you ever heard of lupus? Chances are you know someone whose life's been affected. A new diagnosis every half hour, 1.5 million patients. That's enough to fill 30 baseball stadiums. Too many people for you not to know anything. Let's get educated. The Lupus Foundation of America can help.
I had a stroke.
I had a stroke.
I had a stroke 5 years ago.
750,000 Americans experience a stroke each year. And if you've had a stroke already, the chances are good that you could have another one. But it doesn't have to happen. You could be a stroke smart star.
I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising again.
I always take my medicine and follow doctor's orders even if I feel fine.
Even when I feel fine.
After 35 years, I quit smoking.
If you take steps to improve your health, you'll greatly reduce your risk of another stroke.
Watch what you eat.
If you smoke, quit now.
Keep your blood pressure and cholesterol levels under control.
You can avoid having another stroke.
Recurrent strokes are more deadly than first strokes. Find out more about National Stroke Association STARS Steps Against Recurrent Stroke. Talk to your doctor and go to stroke.org today.
Do the things you need to do.
What are you doing to stay healthy?
I'm not going to have another stroke.
We're back again. We have some more questions to answer, and one of them was, how many people were in this production? Who wants to answer that?
I can answer it. We have over 70 people.
70 people?
Yes, we have a huge cast, and it's all ages. We have senior citizens, we have adults and children, and a lot of them have developed into coming to the play because of their parents. So we have families, we have whole families that do the play.
Well, I think the one that played Mary has played in it how many years every time?
Since 5th grade. I'm a senior now, and it's really been helpful in keeping my faith going through high school, and just been a fabulous experience.
How about you, Brett?
Well, this is my first time actually ever, acting in the Passion Show. I've seen it, countless numbers of times. But I'm a freshman this year I go to Peters, and in the ministry, I've definitely kept up. I'm a lector at St. Benedict's Church.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
so that's definitely helped me throughout the years, because it's rough, as I'm sure you'll probably back me up on this. It's rough being in high school, trying to keep up with your faith.
And it'll probably get harder as you go to college. There'll be so many temptations and everything. And just remember what you were taught in CCD.
Just remember who you played.
Right. Okay, now we better get down to the show here now. When is the show?
It's Friday, March 27th, and Saturday, March 28th.
Okay, and
I think it's the 26th.
6th and 27th.
26th and 27th.
That wrong.
Okay, it's a Friday and a Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Okay, and one of the perks is that they can go to the fish dinner
right,
before.
Right, so Saturday night's show is earlier. So I think that we have, is it 7:45?
7:45 is Friday.
On Friday.
7 o'clock
and
on
7 on Saturday.
Right, Fish Fry ends at 7:30, but...
So dinner and a show.
Yeah.
Make it a
Right,
date.
there you go. So, and where can you get tickets? Or do you have to have tickets?
You do, because where the performance is held in the Pope Benedict Activity Center has limited seating, about 400, and so tickets are free, but they're available at the parish office.
And they're for, you can get them for both.
You can get them for either night, or both. They're color-coded, so we know what night you have. We are not charging. The tickets, as I said, are free, but there will be a free will offering at the end of each performance to help us defray the costs.
Well, yeah, there is a cost to put this on and everything. And who does your costumes? I thought of that myself.
Oh, we have costumes.
We have costumes. Mimi Rush does them. And actually, her son played Jesus 2 years ago.
That's right.
TC played Jesus,
Right.
so.
And she's assisted by Maria
Patty
Drake,
and Patty Ross.
Rose Trunzo
Yes.
and Patty Ross, and also this year
You mean they make
Judy
all the
Risher.
they make the costumes?
They've had them over
they've
the
had them
years,
over the
and
years.
there are things that have been donated that they sort of take apart and put together. But one of the interesting things this year, what we added at the last production in 2008 was the distinction between the temple guards and the Roman guards. And so the temple guards' costume has been evolving because they're the guards that go with the high priest and the Pharisees. And so just this year, we have new costumes for them, some new costumes.
And we'll be able to tell the difference.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Romans, because they have the hat with the plume and the whole thing, the leather, and you'll be able to tell.
Well, that's
So we
interesting.
needed more men.
Yes.
Because we used to be able to have them just move on,
Yeah.
A guard was a guard. But it is really nice. You can tell the difference.
See, I've gone every time and I've never noticed that
Well,
difference.
you will
in
this
that.
year, especially. It was a little more subtle last time, but this year you'll know.
Okay,
Each
good.
time we do it, we add on something. So
So now you did mention about where the music was from. And that's,
From a variety of composers that we use, in our songbook. So most of it, like I said, is pretty familiar. Our contemporary choir that sings every other Saturday at the 5 p.m. Mass makes up the chorus, so we do have support from a chorus. In addition to the cast, and some ensemble work within the cast, we also have a choir that Rosalie Furman will be directing, and they'll be adding some support, sometimes background music, sometimes singing on their own while the action is occurring, or even entr'acte.
Interesting. That's wonderful.
You can't see them because they're in black and they're up on the stage, but there's black and then they're behind there. And then the band's back there that will support us with all the music, and that's run by our music director, which is Michael Locke.
That's very interesting. Oh, that course has come a long way.
Oh.
That choir, it really has. I mean, I always go to 5 o'clock Mass, and that's my Mass.
So you've heard them many times.
I've heard them many times, and it's been better all the time. So, Mary, what about you? Now, how do you feel about doing the part?
It's just so much bigger than all of us here. We're trying to reenact a passion of our whole faith is based on. And so, I'm exceptionally proud to be playing the part and just really feel that it's going to bring me even closer in my faith.
I know she's been close to me, and I kept her pretty busy. And let me see, and you're
Pontius Pilate.
Pontius Pilate.
Yeah, it actually helps me for Good Friday, because in the liturgy in Good Friday we take it from John's Gospel, which is where most of Pilate's meat is, as far as the dialogue between Jesus. And Brett and I have this big dialogue, which finally ends up in saying that he's come because of the truth, and Pilate is what is truth. Who can know what that is? And each time I say that, I think, okay, I think I know what is true, but here's this man questioning that. And it really speaks to us today, I think, when everything is so relative. The Holy Father has said relativism is one of the parts of our society today that we really have to get beyond, because with everything becomes relative, then nothing has meaning. Nothing is definite or absolute.
We need to strengthen our faith in that, and I think this would help us and everything. At least it's helped me. And I'm just so proud of you too, doing something like this.
Thank you very much.
It's just wonderful to know that kids,
it is.
Excuse me, can
I'm
do
not ready
parts
to be
like
an
that.
adult yet.
So, but no, you all do a wonderful, wonderful job.
Thank you.
And I know I've enjoyed it, and all my friends and that, we always talked about it and everything.
Get lots of tickets, Erma, and bring a big crowd.
Well, let's see, I've got about 10 coming so far.
Oh, that's a big crowd.
So, but at work today, a lot of them are coming from up at Keystone.
Oh, okay.
They're going to come down for the play.
Good. Yeah, I know some of my former parishioners at Good Samaritan in Ambridge had called, and they're like, we're coming to the fish fry and that show. We want to see you. So there'll be a group there from there.
So, well, did we miss anything? I mean, is there anything else you want to, how about mentioning the times and the date again? Do you want to do that? Do you want to do that, Sharon?
Friday, March 26th at 7:45 after the fish fry, and Saturday, March 27th at 7 p.m.
Okay, so everybody remember that, and we'll see you all at the show, and I hope you enjoyed this little rendition of the Passion Play, and that we hope to see you again. The dates are Friday the 26th and Saturday the 27th. So I hope to see you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I know we'll all enjoy it, and so I know I will. So this is Erma Grego from Senior Perspective.
I didn't know where to look. I'm looking at all of them.